and a good evening, everybody. Welcome to Inside Indian Athletics, and what a great job, and how great it is to be back on the show tonight with spring sports well underway. The best, I think a lot of people would agree, the best season of the year for me. It's been a fun start of the spring season. A couple fun games already taking place. Softball started their year 3-1. A couple of good wins over Edwardsville and Belleville East. Baseball, a 2-0 start to the year. It wins over Teutopolis and Newton. Currently, by the way, 8-1. They are up over at Centralia, in Centralia right now. And of course, boys tennis has begun their season just this past Saturday, a 2-1 day, taking third in their flight at the Triad Nights Invitational. And it is boys tennis that we will be spotlighting here tonight. So glad to be joined. We'll be joined by Coach Jack Guse, as well as seniors and former All-Staters, hopefully soon to be All-Staters once again, Jordan Beck and Eli Woodrome. So when we come back, Jack Guse joins us on Inside Indian Athletics.
Your home is everything to you, and we know that. The law office of Misty L. Webbles is your hometown hero when it comes to managing your home and belongings. Practicing in estate planning, estate and trust administration, and real estate and guardianship, Misty's law office's goal is to protect you and your family. After graduating from McKendree and St. Louis University, Misty Webbles has worked in Muscoda for years and knows the importance of our community. Don't let anyone else handle your family. Trust Muscoda, trust Misty Webbles.
We're back with our first guest on Inside Indian Athletics. We're joined by head tennis coach Jack Guse. Coach Guse, thanks for joining us.
Oh, and thanks for having me.
All right, so what brought you into tennis? How'd you start? What made you fall in love with the sport?
So long story short, I went to Triad High School. That's my alma mater. I know our rivals. I played other sports growing up. I played baseball and basketball. Essentially, I got to my junior year of high school. I was burnt out of those other sports. I had friends who were on the tennis team at Triad, and for some reason they wanted me to come out and play. And at first I was really like, I don't know, man, like I've never swung a tennis racket before. Made the decision to come out, played my junior year. I think I started as number about 30 on our team because we had a ton of guys. By the end of my junior year, I was number 9, fringe varsity player. Came back my senior year, played number 5 singles varsity, number 3 doubles varsity. And then went to state my senior year and was all conference and all area for Triad. Just a really good family atmosphere on the tennis team, and something I've been lucky and thankful to have brought here to Muscoda.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're a Triad kid, now in Muscoda. What brought you here?
So it was one of those things where I was like, after I graduated from Triad, I still hung around Triad's boys tennis team especially, and was kind of like a volunteer coach on their team while I was in college. Loved it, loved coaching, coached a doubles team at Triad to an all-state status. And at that point, it was kind of like, okay, I could see myself, doing this. And then around that time, Coach Kraft tragically passed away. And then Coach Carr came in and did a couple seasons, then moved. And then Triad's head coach, Coach Jack Harmony, was like, hey, there's an head coach opening down there. You should go apply for it. And I did and got the job.
All right, so, since you've been here, you've had a ton of success. Couple state appearances, you've had some great talent, you've had a couple of Becks, you've had Eli, of course, Wyatt Jurgensmeyer, who's been to state a couple times. You've had that much success, and you're still fairly new. What has that just been like to be able to have that much success jumping right in?
Honestly, I don't know, Owen, if it's completely set in yet. It's honest, and it's just the norm around here, and I don't mean to seem like cocky or anything like that, but we, a Triad, like, they are really the pinnacle of tennis in our conference, or have been in the Mississippi Valley Conference. And I had success there, obviously, as a player and a coach. So it's always just kind of been around. And like I said, I'm really, really fortunate. You could be the best coach in the world, but you got to have the guys, or the girls, and they're the ones out there who are battling. And been lucky to have not only great players but great people.
All right, so we're talking a little about, we've got Jordan and Eli coming up a little bit next. You're losing them after this year. You've got another Beck still here.
Sure.
But you're gonna have some holes to fill. Other seniors too as well, leaving after this year. So you're gonna have some holes to fill. What are your plans trying to try and fill those holes?
So I would say that just like the team will always have guys, and like the names that you guys know, obviously tennis isn't, a glamour sport like a football or a basketball. And so the names that you guys know, Jordan, Eli, Wyatt, who graduated, there are other guys behind them. And sure, we have a lot of seniors on this team, but we get a lot of guys who come out as sophomores, as juniors, kind of like I did when I was playing. And I'm really confident, we'll keep growing and we'll find guys. We'll find athletes. We'll find guys who want to buy into the program. Like I said, this program will have success for years down the road for sure.
All right, on that note, let's talk about this year. Strengths and weaknesses, maybe go beyond Jordan and Eli, because everybody knows what they can do.
Sure.
They're all state doubles players, all state tennis players. Beyond them, what is on this team? What makes this team good? What makes this team mesh? What makes this team work?
For sure. I mean, first thing is, we truly have a family atmosphere on this team. The guys love each other. It's not like Jordan and Eli go out there and play their, 2 singles matches and they play doubles together and then they just be on their phones and wait for everyone to finish up. Everyone really loves everybody. Everyone's bought in. Like I said, it kind of creates that family atmosphere. Other names that you guys need to know, because we are a really deep team again this year. Again, a lot of seniors, a lot of upperclassmen. Jaden Goodnow-Chinsky is going to be a guy who's going to be in the center of our lineup. Luke Beck, Jordan's little brother, obviously is a sophomore, has made significant strides and will be a primetime player for us. And then Corbin Onfrey, sophomore, and Kane Klimico, senior, will be the other guys who round out our lineup. So, like I said, it is a deep team. I really have about 10 to 12 guys who, I really trust in those varsity spots. And no, that makes me feel good about things.
All right, I'll leave you with this, Coach. You've been coaching here for several years now. What's that favorite moment been during your time here at MHS?
I mean, I would have to say it'd be Jordan and Wyatt's state run last year. Getting that state medal. Obviously that's only been done one time before, that state medal. Andy Graff getting 4th in singles. And so it was a really magical run. We were seeded to take 4th. And it feels good to accomplish that. Obviously, the team also finished in the top 10, which also has only been done one time in school history. And so just that state run last year. Obviously, Eli finishing all state in singles was fantastic too. But I would say that was probably my number one so far.
All right, Coach Guse, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck for this year. Hopefully, another state appearance.
Oh, and thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll have Jordan and Eli back on when we come back on Inside Indian Athletics.
Aspen Legal is devoted to the risk takers, to the dreamers, to the legacy builders, to the entrepreneurs who are the true engine of our economy. From Los Angeles to New York, from the U.S. to the United Arab Emirates, Aspen Legal protects and helps entrepreneurs build their own unique business legacies. From Main Street to Wall Street, Aspen Legal, for entrepreneurs.
They made me laugh. Oh. We're back inside Indian Athletics. We've got 2 guests joining us on this round. Jordan Beck on the far side down there. Eli Woodrome here in the middle. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for OD.
Yeah, appreciate it, OD.
All right. Jordan, I'm going to start with you because this question is a little bit more you-centered. You had brothers play here, a couple of guys with some good success here. But, what was your reason that you wanted to hop on the tennis team when you got to high school?
Right, yeah, both siblings, Isaac and Tommy, both played tennis in high school. Isaac started his sophomore year, similar to Guse, he played baseball. But I have an Uncle Danny and his son Max, who played Division I tennis, so kind of learned from them and, yeah, just fell in love with the sport.
All right, Eli, I'm going to ask the same question to you. I mean, your brother's a baseball player. Both sides of your brothers are baseball players, and then there's you in the middle. You're a tennis player. So, what brought you to tennis? Was it, your cousin being in the same grade as you, getting to play with him all the time? What was your reasoning?
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely say it was completely God's divine providence because I was playing baseball. I was having a joyous time. But then after 7th grade year, it was the baseball bowling party. And Wyatt Jurgensmeyer and Jordan were there, and they were like, why don't you just play tennis freshman year? So I shook their hand, and ever since then it was history. But no, Jordan and Wyatt have really cultured in me a good tennis foundation, and it's just been a joy ever since. So.
Okay, so you guys you've been doubles partners now for 3 years. You've had a ton of success in doubles. You've also had you also worked together really well. I want to get you to answer this. I'm curious to see what one of you answers and what the other one answers. What is that? How does that chemistry work? How do you guys work so well together? Jordan, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so obviously growing up together, cousins, you already start with that connection. But yeah, going to school together, going to church, and just always having that relationship with God at the center. And then it was like, if we both love God, we can always have that connection. And then, throughout grade school, playing basketball, baseball, tennis, volleyball, basketball, and then, just kept going. And, now we're just kind of the doubles team, I guess.
All right. Like Jordan said, like starting young, we literally hung out every day after school and playing basketball. Me playing with his siblings who were rougher, like brought me up with that culture, like I said. So starting young has really built a lot of chemistry, even through freshman basketball, all the way up to tennis this year. It's really been just a constant thing, and I would say like often Jordan's that foundation where I'm either like super happy or I'm down on myself. He definitely grounds me in that. So just being able to have a guy like Beck has been very helpful. So.
All right. One other thing that I think Coach Guse would attest to this, the impressiveness, is like you guys maintain a standard in the classroom that's up here, and also keeping your athletic abilities up here as well. What is that like? You guys have to obviously put in a ton of work for that. Talk a little bit about keeping your academic and your athletic levels really high.
So obviously you want to form the whole body. Like we've been put on this earth not just to, be good tennis players or be good athletes, but also to be a good human. And not only is that starting in the classroom with learning and growing the mind, but also, in the weight room, growing strength. And then, just kind of like it was a great, learning to balance academics and sports. It's not easy, but I will never regret what I've done.
Yeah, similarly to Jordan, it's just about forming the whole body, mind, and spirit. And I think all three of those completely work together. And so being able to work spiritually hard, but then work in the classroom hard, and also on the tennis court, it all correlates with each other. And I think Jordan and I have realized that, luckily from a pretty early age, from parents who've founded us and built a foundation within us. So I think having those three prominent points has built us to where we are today. So.
All right, I've got one question. These next two are one specific Jordan, one specific for Eli. Jordan, big part of the football team several years. So I want to ask, how do your tennis and football, how do they work in tandem? Football help with tennis, tennis help with football. How do those two things work together?
Each goes both ways, but especially this past year, really found a new love for football through Philip Rivers, who was huge on the phrase "Nunc Cepi," which is "now I begin." And especially when you're playing football, it's like every play, it's like you could give up a 70-yard touchdown, and it's like, I can't dwell in the past, I got to begin again. And it's the exact same for tennis. You could, be down big, but you begin again every point. And that even led to me saying, now I begin, I'll play basketball for 3 weeks.
That was going to come up.
It's beautiful to see, like, especially if you look more at tennis, like the footwork, the hand-eye coordination just correlated straight to blocking, catching the football. But the leadership that I had with football was very different from tennis, because football you're playing as a team, 11 guys on the field fighting for each other. Tennis, sometimes it's just, the most you can have is 2 on a court. So it's trying to learn a new way of, like, this year it's just more like, if I can show that I'm, high energy, competing well, like not giving up on a point or anything, kind of just like the rest of the team will build off that.
All right, Eli, so then this one for you. You were a 3-sport athlete as a freshman, 2-sport as a sophomore. You stepped back into being a 1-sport athlete. So, what was that decision, step away from golf and basketball, to really focus on tennis that year?
For sure. I definitely completely appreciate, and I'm so thankful for Coach Reynolds and Coach Hugh for golf and basketball, because they've really built up the character within me as well. But like going back to even Hoyt childhood, playing all 4 sports I could, that was kind of the basis that happened. We were playing with each other all through Hoyt childhood, so that was definitely the basis. But then seeing my talents flourish in tennis and the gift that God gave me through that, I was like, why would I not fully go in? And I'm so grateful for those coaches that I've had outside, but like Guse has really just built up this joy and this love for tennis that I have, and it's only instilled passion within me, and that's what I've really correlated with and wanted to strive for. So.
All right, last two questions. I'll start with this one. What is your biggest motivator on the court? What keeps you going day in, day out, that grind on the tennis court?
I would say the thing that really makes us go is being strong spiritually, as well as setting goals and precedents for what we want to accomplish athletically. So being able to have those goals, like sophomore year, we were not expecting to get 7th at state. That was just something that came up. We worked super hard that whole year, but now we set goals. We know the standard, so building upon that standard has definitely been what we strive for.
Right, yeah, building upon the standard, and then also, yeah, like the dedication to striving to be like the best you can be. Like God has given us these talents. I mean, he gave you talents to be a broadcaster, and look at what you've done. Like something no one's ever done before. And it's once you learn, like what you love is what you should be doing. I mean, Miss Brady talked about it to us at career fair. Shout out Miss Brady, you're a G. But yeah, just striving to be like the best you can be, because in a world where there's a lot of different tensions, I mean, war, it's hard to find that joy, the peace, and I mean, Jesus Christ at the foundation, it really set us up for where we are today.
All right, last question for you both. There's a lot of them for you guys over the last 4 years, but what's your favorite memory as you wind down your high school career?
I would say it's hard to choose between two. Obviously, getting 7th at state for doubles with Beck, and then getting 16th in singles. But I would say the fondest and most beautiful memory was playing that Thursday of state in singles, and I was only expecting to play 3 matches, ended up having to play 4, but that grind I had to do, and being able to see my mom praying the rosary just for me, it just like instilled a whole new strength within me. I was like, I've never achieved this sense of like grit in my life. Like on the basketball floor, I'm a pretty gritty player, but it was just on a whole new level, and that was definitely the greatest memory because it was complete out-of-body experience. But as well as getting 7th at state with Beck, also a great memory. So.
Yeah, I'll go to that memory. That was probably my favorite. So Friday of Eli and I's sophomore year of tennis, we won our first 2 matches, and we're going out warming up against this team. And we're both like, we're gonna get killed. Like they're great. Then we get a rain delay for 2 hours. We go into their field house, and we're like, oh, we're gonna lose anyway. So we start playing pickup basketball. Get our subway, and then we're ready to play, and we're just like, all right, hey, let's just go have fun. We end up winning, and I mean, you know the rest of the story. We finished top 8 at state. Like, what are we doing? Like, we were not supposed to be here. But yeah, it was beautiful.
All right, boys, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yeah,
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Eddie.
All right, we'll close it down next on Inside Indian Athletics.
Warrior Logo Wear doesn't just print gear. Since 2018, we've been helping organizations build identity, unity, and pride through high-quality branded merchandise and streamlined fulfillment solutions. Want to simplify your branded merchandise and look great doing it? Just contact us at info@warriorlogowear.com or call our number at 618-566-6864. You can also visit our location at 12 East Main Street, Muskegon, Illinois, 62258.
It's been a fun afternoon. Well, it's been a fun evening, I guess, on Inside Indian Athletics. Thanks to Coach Guse, Jordan, and Eli for hopping on here tonight. Tell us a little about themselves and about their tennis journeys, and apparently some pickup basketball memories that we had at state a couple years ago. It's been a fun one. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it's going to be a fun week. 2 baseball games coming up this week here on the network. We'll have baseball Wednesday and Friday. And honestly, if the field is ready this week, like we were told earlier last week, softball could have a doubleheader on Saturday that'll be right here on the network, and it might be regardless of that. But for now, we're going to close it down here on Inside Indian Athletics. Again, thanks to Coach Guse and Jordan and Eli. Thanks to Avery Beer, who's behind the camera tonight. My name is Owen Dressler, and we will see you on Wednesday for MHS Baseball. And that's going to do it for us. Thanks for joining us.